Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Duck-Sized Horses podcast, the comedy podcast that hopefully will answer the would you rather questions you've always wanted answered. Thank you for joining us. We're coming to you live from DSH headquarters. I'm Nathan Herat.
And I'm Jack Higgins.
How are you, sir?
Very well, thanks. I say we.
We.
I've messed up this week. I've only bought one microphone, so we're sitting very cosily next to each other.
We are. It's very snugly at the moment as we share the mic.
It's a good job we're mates.
It is, yeah. We certainly will be mates after this, that's for sure. So, before we crack on with this month's question, and it is a very tricky one, isn't it, sir?
Huge question.
It's a very difficult one. I'm really looking forward to hearing which way you've gone. But before that, let's do some thank yous. Thank you to everyone that's got in touch. And even some people have had their say on this month's question, haven't they? A few people have chipped in with their ideas.
Yeah, it's been real good. Thank you for everybody who's sent through some questions, been on our website, got in touch through the contact page.
Absolutely.
We love you for it. And yeah, can't wait to hear more from you.
That was a very nice speech. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and thank you to everyone who's got involved in the competition. We'll get onto that a bit later. Now, before we give our own answers to the question, firstly, you need to read the question for us, and then we'll head to the polls. So here's the question.
And it's a doozy. So, the question for episode 11, would you rather 30% of the population have the ability to read minds or the ability to teleport, but you're not part of that 30%?
What a twist that is, by the way. What a twist.
It's like M. Night Shyamalan.
It is. It really is. It made me actually have to rewrite my answer because I forgot that you're not part of the 30%. Little clue maybe to the way I've gone. But before we hear about which way myself and yourself have gone, let's hit the polls.
So, 86% of people on Twitter would rather that 30% of the population, there's a lot of percentages.
There's a lot of percentages going on here, mate.
Have the ability to teleport, as opposed to 14% of the ability to mind read. Similar thing on Facebook,
Yeah.
but it's a 90-10 split in favour of teleportation.
That's probably one of the biggest splits we've had since we introduced the polls, I think. There, the 90-10. So go on then, Jack, read the question for us again, mate.
Okay, so would you rather 30% of the population have the ability to read minds or have the ability to teleport, but you're not part of the 30%? Nathan Herat. Decision time.
Well, sir, and as I say, I found this really difficult this month. Probably one of the hardest we've done since we started this little project, because I think there's merits to both. But I've gone with the teleportation option.
Oh, interesting.
What have you gone with, mate?
I went for mind reading.
Did you?
Yes.
Nice.
So we've split. We've gone back to separate decisions.
Normality is restored in that sense.
So why teleporting?
Well, I just felt like there were more kind of options that you could do with the teleporting.
You can do anything. You can't teleport.
I'll get onto that. Slow your horses, sir. I'll get onto that.
Slow your hold your horses.
Hold them. Slow them.
Slow your ducks.
Slow your ducks. Do whatever you want to do with any animal within reason. But yeah, I'll get onto that. So I feel that there's more options with the teleportation. So firstly, as you say, there's only 30% of the population that can teleport, and I was thinking there is potential scope to set up some kind of teaching scheme so that the 30% of the population that can teleport teach the rest of us muggles the ability to teleport, and then it becomes a universal skill. That was my first thought off the bat. I don't know how long it would take to teach someone to teleport, or what these classes would look like, or where they take place.
But can you teach people how, like, so muggles, could you teach someone magic? Or it has to be ingrained, right? You have to be born with it. Can you teach someone how to teleport, or is it?
I reckon the skills are transferable.
Okay.
There's elements of it that could be transferred. So that was my first thought. But then I was thinking, if that teaching scheme fails, which, let's be honest, it seems it may well do straight off the bat, I was thinking perhaps you could sort of orchestrate it so that the 30% that learn this and can teleport are involved in the emergency services. Because I was thinking, as a kind of rapid response, if paramedics, policemen, firemen and such are able to just teleport straight to an incident or whatever, that's pretty quick.
Okay, so you'd see it as like almost like a recruitment drive kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, like technically a sort of, like I say, rapid response recruitment drive, like a new tool in a way to deal with those situations. Because I just feel like that would be, as I say, a much cooler thing for them. And they could probably, I was going to say go to more events, that's a poor phrase, attend more incidents if they can teleport, because they could go to multiple ones rather than just, like, that situation of prioritising one.
Do you reckon they could take people with them though? So say for example someone's injured,
That's a
they,
very
they,
good
they can
point.
grab their hands and they can be like, right, off we go, and they teleport them, or are they just going to disappear and the person's going to be left behind?
I know, I feel like we should come up with some kind of agreement that on contact with a non-teleporting person, they're then teleported with that person, if that makes sense. So if they're part of the 30%, as soon as they touch someone that isn't part of that 30%, they're taken with them.
Only until they let go.
Yeah, only until they let go. Otherwise, they'd just be permanently holding on to them.
Okay.
But so that's what I was thinking. But you've got mind reading.
I've got mind reading.
Ping it back to you.
And it's more for because obviously you've sought out the good in people.
I've tried to.
You're thinking they're going to help. They're going to be like, oh yes, there's danger. I'm going to go help that person in danger.
Absolutely.
You've
gone the opposite way.
I've gone the opposite way because I think everybody's awful, and I can't imagine them being that helpful. Yeah. As much as I try and be optimistic about it, I think everybody would have a bit more of a nasty side to them. So I would rather people be able to read minds than teleport, because say right now in Duck Size Horses HQ, we're going to look around the room. Someone could just turn up here.
Yeah. Oh, well played.
And that would be awful.
That would be very awful.
That would be really awkward.
It would be a bit awkward.
Because we wouldn't know their name. We could ask them what they'd rather do.
Unless it was one of our friends that is in the 30%.
That's true.
It's possible.
So that would be pretty bad. But for someone to read someone's mind, I imagine you'd have to be at least within a close radius of them. So you could, in theory, just avoid everybody, become a recluse. No one would be able to read your mind, or you could get one of those Magneto-style helmets.
Nice.
So you can stop Professor X reading his mind. Get one of those. And if all else fails, what would people gain from being able to read your mind? I mean, I'm pretty vacant most of the day, if I'm being honest. So if anybody wants to read my mind, then
have at it. Form an orderly queue.
It's one of those things. It's like an empty room where someone could like whistle and the echo would go on for ages and ages and ages.
It's like a little tumbleweed in your mind. Just rolling across.
That's 90% of the day.
The only issue I have with the mind reading thing is is it not just kind of restricted to one outcome so you can tell whether someone's lying or not? Is that not really the only thing in terms of reading their mind? That was why I was reluctant to select it, because you could only use it to work out if they're lying or not, or what their true sort of feeling towards you is.
No, I think it's
broader, is it?
Full range. So, for example, if I could read your mind right now, you'd probably be thinking, God, he sat really close. I wish he'd brought another microphone with him this week. What an idiot. So
that's incredible. That's uncanny, to be fair.
I've got something to tell you. I'm part of the 30%.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, jealous.
No, so I think full range. You could dive right in, but you can only think about what they're thinking at the time. So there's no mind control.
No, so you're taking it at face value, sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's literally just whatever is passing through that person's head at the time, which, as I said, most of the time is nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more comfort to that than just some random person being able to show up in your house.
Is that not a bit disappointing though, that you've got this skill to read minds, and then, as you say, a majority of the time people's minds are quite vacant, so you don't really have anything to read from that ability, if you know what I mean? Whereas with the teleportation thing, once everyone has learnt it as a universal skill, which I'm pitching for, there's always going to be a way that you can teleport and somewhere you'll want to go. But if you have a run of a few months where everyone's mind is vacant, that's quite a boring skill to have, I think.
Yeah, I think you could learn a lot about some people though. You could,
True.
or people could learn a lot about you. They instantly know how you were feeling.
True, yeah.
Like say for example, like you were with a friend who could read your mind. They could just get up and like bring you a cup of tea
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, how do you know what one of those?" And they like go, they give you a little known look, like
Mind reading.
So do a little tap on the head, and you go, "Oh, of course."
Yeah.
So I reckon that'd be quite nice.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
But yeah, I just wouldn't want any old person showing up in my house. Also, I think if you could like touch someone
Yeah.
and teleport them away, I think it would lead to rogue teleportations. So you'd have
Yeah.
like people just playing pranks on like, other people. So if someone waiting at a bus stop, for example,
Yeah.
they come along, they like grab their arm
Yeah.
or something and teleport them off to an island or a cave, and then just disappear and leave them there. And then that person would have to find their way back. That would be
That is a game show waiting to happen, I think.
yeah. Well, maybe there's money in it. Maybe that's part of
Possibly,
the
yeah.
recruitment. So maybe not just for
No.
emergency. Maybe it could be like a recruitment drive for Channel 4.
Yeah, true.
A new format for them.
Nice. That's something.
Find
they've
your
got
way
planned.
home. We've got one of the 30%. They're going to take this person home. First person to find their way home wins
It's a bit like
£10,000.
the reverse of that program they've got hunted when
Yeah.
they have to hide. It's like the reverse, isn't it? Bring them back home because in that they have to avoid home and their families and
Yeah,
stuff.
but then they'd also have to avoid the other 30% who could try and
Oh yeah.
find that person to take them elsewhere. They could end up miles away.
This is Dragon's Den. I think we have to go. We have to go with it. That's
Okay.
incredible.
Duncan Bannatyne, I know you listen. So
He's not on Dragon's Den anymore.
is he not?
He's not. He's left.
Who's on Dragon's Den now? Is it
Peter Jones is still there.
okay?
I think Deborah's still there, and then they've got new people. No more Theo.
Oh,
No more Duncan. He's not on there. And then none of the others.
I always like Hilary Devey because
Yeah, she's not on there.
she reminded me of just a cranky old person, but like in
In the nicest
yeah,
possible way.
yeah, like it's just everything. Like any idea was like nah, meh. And it was
That was like she was
fantastic.
in the room there,
Meh.
mate.
Meh.
That was an uncanny.
Fantastic. More of her on telly, please.
Exactly. I
Just
hope
saying
she's
that.
listening to this.
Yeah.
I really hope she sat down listening to this.
Yeah, well, if she is, then she's heard our idea.
She
so
has. She might well go for it. Obviously, we'd have to offer 20%, as we've discussed before.
yeah,
They
Or
lap up at 20%. Or 30%
Yeah,
to keep in tie with the 30%.
yeah.
The only issue, and I
Great
meant to,
minds, by the way. Great minds.
I meant to raise it earlier. The only issue I had with the whole mind reading thing is, does it not have a slight whiff of the evil geniusy about it, being able to read other people's minds?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. But again, I don't know what you'd get from you'd have to encounter
Yeah.
evil to
True.
know evil.
I just feel like you. That's very philosophical.
Oh.
I just feel like you could cause potentially a lot of damage by if you read someone's mind and they don't like a particular person, and you wanted to set up some kind of fight or disagreement, you could use that information to do that. That was part of my thinking. And also another point I meant to make: once the skill of teleportation is universal, I was thinking in sort of social situations, I can be quite awkward sometimes. And if I had the ability to teleport, I could just go bang straight out of that situation. Whereas if all I can do is read minds and people can read my mind, then people will pick up on the fact that I'm not enjoying myself or that I'm finding this awkward, and then that makes the situation more awkward.
But then they could adapt,
True,
So-
good point.
and also you wouldn't be able to click your fingers and disappear anywhere because
No,
you'd be part of 30% that didn't.
no, but like I mean, once when the teaching scheme,
Once you've been trained.
yeah, once I've been trained in the art of teleportation. Yeah, I thought I was just gonna look. That's gonna be even more awkward if I click my fingers and absolutely nothing happens.
I've got I think I've got something to stump you here. So
Go on, mate.
lesson 1 of training,
Yeah,
your teacher's there
yeah,
and they say, right, I'm gonna go disappear. I want
short lesson.
Yeah, I want everybody to copy me. She clicks her fingers, she goes.
Yeah,
The rest of the class are, where's she gone? She comes back. Right, everybody get that.
yeah. No, I feel like there. I feel like there would be some kind of agreed technique. So like there'd be a breakdown of like the stages of how to teleport, and then you put it all together, and that's the teleportation.
I don't know.
I don't feel like you say, just the teacher clicks her fingers and everyone has to try and remember what it is. I feel like you break it down into the steps, very much like at the beginning of a scrum in rugby when the referee says crouch, touch. I feel like that's what the teacher would do at the start. She'd be like crouch. I don't know how you would get out of a crouch for teleporting, but she'd say the different levels, and then the last thing would be like click, and there'd be some kind of a universally agreed word that you say to go, and then everyone could go. Although the risk is, and I am picking apart my own argument here, but I suppose if you all sort of teleport, there's no guarantee you're all going to go in the same place. So that could be really awkward, because then you could all end up in completely different parts of the...
If you were teaching,
Yeah.
and I can say this from experience of being on sort of large like school trips. Doing a head count would be a nightmare. So I don't know how you'd get around that. You'd have to fill in loads of forms.
Yeah, that's true, and that's a difficult form. Perhaps there could be like some kind of... I don't know if Laser Quest still exists, but do you remember the vests that you wore in Laser Quest?
Mm-hmm.
Go with me. That is a face of someone that's not convinced. But I would put, instead of the lights that flashed and stuff to show what team you're in, I would embed some kind of tracking device.
Ah.
And then, no matter where you went, as long as obviously you'd have to ensure that people put the vest on, because without the vest you're in a real pickle. But if you've got the vest in with the tracking, and then some kind of app or something.
Funny you should mention Laser Quest, because teleportation would be absolutely amazing.
That would absolutely revolutionise
Ping
Laser
in, ping
Quest.
off. Yeah, that'd be great.
There's the slogan for it.
Ping in, ping off. Zapping, ping. I don't know.
Stop zapping and pinging.
I'll figure out the phrase for it. So don't. Let's go with our other idea, Duncan and Deborah. We'll pick up the Laser Quest one after this, but first of all, let's get the other one off the ground, and I'll come back to you with a strapline for it. Still want 30%.
Absolutely, 30%. £30,000.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
Perfect.
So yeah, all right then. So, well, what if you were part of the 30%?
What, that could mind read
or teleport? What would you go for?
I was thinking just to sort of go for the mind reading thing. One sort of benefit I did think of it is it could be really useful, and this is going to be a heck of a spectrum jump from what we have been talking about. But say you've got somebody with an illness, or that just isn't able to speak. But for them to be able to communicate, if you could read their mind, then that's a way for them to express themselves through you, sort of thing. A bit like, the people that have this sort of, I don't know what the term is, but those machines that can speak for them or that read their blinks. That would be a good way for people to communicate.
But
if they're not able to.
In a similar vein, they could just teleport somewhere else, come back with a notebook and a pen.
Yeah. Way to stamp all over what was a very sincere and quite emotive.
To be fair, I like that idea. That's a very good idea. I was very quick to
ruin the emotion in that. But may I just point out firstly, whilst you've destroyed what was a lovely sentimental moment for me, why are you teleporting to get a notebook and pen? That is a everyday item that you surely have at home.
If I couldn't talk, then that's how I'd communicate.
Yeah, but you could just walk and get that.
I'd hold up my hands. I'd do the 1 minute or 5 minute international sign. So either hold up at one finger or five.
Yeah. Which you are doing now, just for the people at home.
Yeah, if you didn't know what I was on about, that's the universal. Or give me five.
Yeah.
I'd come back.
Notebook and
Have it written down.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Okay. I thought that was a really good idea I had.
It
but
was. I'm sorry.
In 8 seconds, you trampled all over it.
Yeah. Next. Next. What else have you got for me?
I think I'm done, to be honest, mate. On there.
So you'd go for reading minds if you were part of the 30%.
Oh no. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think, to be honest, I'd go teleportation. Even in other people. Like, if we're not... Say my teaching scheme doesn't work. As long as the 30% or some of the 30% are involved in the emergency services, then my kind of extra rapid response idea, I'd be quite happy with that. So I would be willing not to be part of the 30%.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I'm quite quick to
Trample on people's.
trample on people's ideas, and this isn't going to be any surprise for that. I see if I was in I'd rather people not teleport, but if I was part of the 30%, I'd want free reign. I'd want to be like, yeah, no, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. I'd be really selfish with it as well.
Would,
Yeah.
Okay, so first place you'd go if you could teleport, then, mate.
Oh, somewhere nice and warm and sunny, I think. And then I'd get up to mischief, I think. Or I could go. Oh, I could try out
Here we go.
skateboarding, because I tried to teach myself how to skateboard when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Failed miserably at it. Spent most of the time just going downhill on a skateboard and falling off, as I'm sure you remember.
I do remember, yeah.
So what I do is I'd build on that. I'd go to a skate park and I'd try and do tricks. And if the tricks were going wrong, I'd quickly teleport somewhere else and be like, "No, with me."
Yeah, but that's just like, you don't need teleportation for skateboarding, do you?
Well, no, but if you're gonna fail, you can
yeah.
go, "Oh, no, that wasn't
True.
me.
If you
Sorry,
wanna just-
that was someone else."
Good.
Um,
Yeah, good point.
Also, it could help in other sort of embarrassing situations. Like you could be, "Oh, no, someone else."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what everyone else is looking at. I'm just over here, sitting down, reading a book. It would help if you were surfing as well.
Really?
If you came off a board, you were back on land in no time.
Yeah, but you would be back on land in no time anyway if you've come off the board surfing, because the sea brings you in.
See. No, you stumped me there. I just ended up saying sea, and
Yeah, you
it sounded
did.
like I was talking about the beach. No, I think I'd like to teleport if possible, but I wouldn't like other people to teleport.
So you want to
I
be the
think-
only one that can teleport.
Yeah.
So
but
you're changing it from 30% of the population to 1%, and that 1% is you.
I think I wouldn't want people to teleport because I'd be worried they turn up in my house.
Yeah, that's a good
But
point.
then I think if I could teleport, that's exactly
That's where
what
you'd be straight
yeah.
round here.
So hello. Just I think I'm imagining myself. I think subconsciously, where I've thought about it beforehand, I've just imagined myself being a bit of a reprobate,
Yeah,
and just
bit of a Jack the Lad.
being a bit of a Jack the Lad, turning up unannounced, just coming like popping around for tea.
What, here or?
No, just
just
anywhere.
anywhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, stick us one on, or like do us some toast.
Guess one on.
Yeah, like with a tea.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like the meal tea. I was like, that is an incredible way to ask for it.
Or do us some toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or oh, can you give us a lift down here? And then they'd be like, why? You can teleport. And I'm like,
I like how you'd still ask for lifts even though you can teleport.
I think I'd just be really lazy. I'd be a nuisance for everybody.
Yeah, you'd just be a hindrance.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Here he comes, a great big teleporting idiot. So yeah, Also,
Yeah.
I think I'd be worried if I could read minds, that I'd read the mind of someone I didn't really want to read their mind, be like, oh,
Yeah.
that person's a bit grotty. Whereas at least like if I was teleport, I could choose where I go.
That's true, yeah.
Because you never know what's in someone's head, but you know what's in someone's house.
Well,
within reason.
yeah, do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Raises some questions.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I think that's a good point. So we have to decide who's won this episode. I don't know how we're
You
going to
said that really reluctantly.
Yeah, because I'm pretty confident that's not going to be me.
We've both got, yeah.
So I forgot to do the scores at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
It's very exciting because it is currently Jack Higgins 5 episodes, me, Nathan Herat, 5 episodes. So it is again beautifully poised. That's why I was saying it reluctantly. And last month it was decided on the ceremonial coin toss. I'm inclined to go for that again, but I don't know how you feel.
Oh, I don't know. I think I've been putting some strong answers.
I think
in
you
this
have,
week.
yeah. You have done well, to be fair.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna get. Yeah, I think you can have that one. I'll put it in.
Yeah.
6-5 to Jack. You have to admit, I put up a bit of a fight just to kind of fly the flag for myself.
It's gonna be my family's gonna be proud.
They're gonna be really proud.
Yeah.
Really proud of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day.
In the Higgins household.
Yeah. So it leads us on to see what happens next month.
Exactly.
And talking of next month, we've got some exciting stuff planned.
We have.
So usually in this part of the podcast, we'd go through our competition. We do that, but we've done 2 quite quick recordings in quick succession, just because of time constraints and everything else. But it does give us time to chat about what we've got planned for next month's episode, which happens to be our year anniversary.
I know, we've been doing this for a year,
Number
mate.
12.
Incredible.
So, yes, join us for our birthday party.
Yes.
Where we're going to be doing a live streamed podcast on our Facebook page, which you'll grab the details for in a moment's time.
Yes.
But you can join us. You can join me and Nathan. We'll be answering 1 or 2 questions, and you can also submit questions for us to answer during the show. It's something we've wanted to do live for a little while.
Yeah, we've been thinking about it for a little bit.
Potentially, we did talk about hiring a venue, but hey, we've got Ducksized Horses headquarters.
So who needs a venue?
Yeah,
who needs a venue?
And you can join us in the comfort of your living room.
Yeah.
You can have your own tea or your own Fentimans lemonade.
Yeah, or chocolate milk, or Battenbergs, or other products that we've referenced in this.
We've had wagon wheels today.
We have.
Get a few of those on.
Absolutely love a wagon wheel.
If you can teleport, by all means, join
us. Yeah, join us live.
So that's going to be on our Facebook page at 8 p.m. on the 11th of April.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
And we can't wait for you to join us.
We're really looking forward to
do some competitions as we go along as well.
Yeah.
More details of which will be coming up on our social media sites and our website, which Nathan's going to tell you all about now.
I'm going to do that now. So you can tweet us your questions at DSH Podcast. Our Facebook page is Ducksized Horses Podcast. That's where we'll be doing the live stream from, as Jack has said. You can email us at ducksizedhorsespodcast@gmail.com. Get in touch with us. We really do love hearing from you. Also, use those details, as I've said, for our competition, for which we will announce during the live show. So take a picture of a duck, a horse, or both, and send it to them on the ways I've said. And also just check out our website, www.ducksizedhorsespodcast.com. That's where you can find all the episodes that we've done to date if you've missed any. Also, you can get inspiration if you want to enter the competition, because we put up the previous month's winner. So Jasmine's video of the duck, I believe, is up there at the moment. So if you want to get inspiration for that. But as I say, just get in touch, because we really do love hearing from you, don't we, Jack?
Absolutely do. Also, episode 12's podcast will still be available as a regular podcast. This is just something extra for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, a little surprise, hopefully. Awesome. So we're done. Please join us for the celebration next month.
Hopefully we'll be here with Deborah and Duncan. So we're going to go chase them up and ask them where our 30% is now.
Absolutely. See you later.
This podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or BritpodScene on Twitter to find out more.